That someone is kind of consistently going up to 20 to 24 weeks, because especially when someone wants neural tissue, they're wanting, they want fetal brain, they want both hemispheres, and for whatever reason, like the sweet spot tends to be like 18 to 22 weeks.
Okay. Well, I go up to 24 weeks. There is a practice that kind of preferentially gets the anomaly referrals.
Right. No, we want healthy tissue.
Okay.
Healthy normative.
Most of the patients that come to me are elected. They present themselves.
And you go electively up to 24 weeks. Okay.
This week coming up, I have a 15-weeker on Tuesday so far. I have a 20-weeker starting on Thursday so far.
Obviously, some of the parameters that we're working within, tissue needs to be pretty much, pretty intact, because the more physically traumatized it gets, the more the stem cells get kind of mashed up and aren't available for collection.
Now the thing is, I don't do induction, so like my technique is a disarticulation technique. So there would have, we'd have to kind of talk about like exactly what it is that you're needing.
Right.
Because
breech position is great. We'll just throw that out there.
Part of the issue is it's not a matter of how I feel about it coming out intact, but I got to worry about my staff and people's feelings about it coming out looking like a baby. It's not a matter of how I feel about it coming out intact, but I got to worry about my staff and people's feelings about it coming out looking like a baby.
A lot of variables going on.
So I don't. And then another issue is Arizona is so conservative. I just don't even want to send a 4-fetus for cremation or any of that.
Absolutely, it's asking for trouble.
Right.
We have the people who do our paperwork for the fetal death certificates. They email us calling them babies. Baby this, baby that, baby so and so. And I'm like, that's creepy. They email us calling them babies. Baby this, baby that, baby so and so. And I'm like, that's creepy.
Do you ditch?
Yeah.
Starting when?
20 weeks.
Starting at 20 weeks. Okay. Because that's the other thing, because, DIG kind of rules out.
It ruins the integrity of the specimen.
I mean, it kills the stem cells.
I mean, so the thing is, it's really, and then that really gets an issue because in Arizona, if the fetus comes out with any signs of life, we're supposed to transport it.
At any gestational age?
Any gestational age.
Is there any standard procedure for verifying signs of life?
Well, the thing is,
that doesn't go in a chart.
I mean, the key is you need to pay attention to who's in the room, right? The key is you need to pay attention to who's in the room, right? Research shows that DIG doesn't make the procedure easier in someone who is well trained. But I have to tell you anecdotally, my biceps appreciate when the DIG works.
Really? It's in the biceps when you're doing a D&E?
It does not take me any longer to complete the procedure, but it takes more force.
Really? What is it when you're doing a non-dig D&E? It takes a bit more, yeah. Wow.
So I remember when I was a fellow and I was training, I was like, I have to hit the gym for this.
You have to go to the gym in order to do it. What age? When does it start? What stage does it start getting really difficult? Like it is like a workout.
20 weeks.
At 20, that's when it becomes difficult.
It can get difficult. So. Reach makes it a lot easier because but the thing is, there still going to have to be some decompression of the calvarium to come out. So.
Interesting. Because Deb had mentioned to me that if you're there's dilation that happens as the case goes on if you're extracting from breech, and then at the end that if there's you do it enough, and so then the calvarium can come out intact.
For the most part, we're going to start the procedure before we get to that point. So it's really like in order to get you an intact calvarium, if the patient's really going to have to go into labor.
Oh, it's going to have to be essentially a D&E or essentially an induction.
Yeah, because generally, especially in a breech presentation, everything's going to come out and the head's going to get trapped. unless there's like complete dilation that's going to allow the head to come out, there's going to be some level of decompression on the way out. Even if I had not completely